All right, everybody, we're going to cover graphing lines, and we're going to start with doing it in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is the form of y equals mx plus b. This should look familiar to you. I think, in my opinion, it's one of the easier ways to graph lines. And that m, you should remember, stands for slope. And that b, you should remember, stands for the y-intercept. Now, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? Well, the slope is just the change in the y over the change in the x, or you can think about that as rise over run. The y-intercept is simply where the line crosses the y-axis. Now we can label our axes. This would be our x-axis, and this will be our y-axis. And the first step that we're going to do to graph a line in slope-intercept form, the first step is going always to be to plot the y-intercept point. So an example would be the equation y equals 2x plus 3. Now in this particular problem, the y-intercept, of course, is that last part plus 3. And you can think of that as your plus b, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to plot that on our y-axis. That's what the y-intercept is. So I'm going to take that plus 3 and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put a point right here. The next thing I'm going to do is, if I need to, I'm going to make the slope a fraction. So in this case, I have a slope of 2. And that 2 can be turned into a fraction of 2 over 1. And the last thing we have to do, or I guess second to last thing, is to graph the slope, which is rise over run. So in this case, our 2 is our rise, meaning up, and our 1 is our run, which means right. Okay, if I have a positive rise, that would be up. If I have a negative rise, that would be down. If I have a positive run, that would be right. If I have a negative run, that would be left. So let's go ahead and rise 2 and run 1. So I'm going up 2 and then right 1. Right 2, up 1. Right 2, up 1. And if you want, you can even think about going in the opposite direction by putting a negative and a negative. Isn't a negative and a negative the same thing as just a positive? So I haven't changed anything, except now I can think of this as a rise of down 2 and a run of left 1. So again, that's down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. And so you can see how that's the same thing as up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And our last step, and this is necessary, is to draw the line with arrows. Okay, so I'm going to do my best. And there she is. All right, that's how you graph a line. We're going to do a couple more complicated ones. And the reason why is because there are some things that occur, and as someone who's taught this quite a few times, I know the mistakes that happen. So let's go ahead and let's try a slightly harder one. Let's go ahead and let's try the problem y equals negative 2/3 x minus 4. Okay, when I'm graphing, first I have to do plotting the y-intercept, which in this case is the minus 4. So I graph that on the y-axis, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 and plot that point. Now, a lot of students sometimes wonder where the negative goes, and the answer is it doesn't matter as long as you don't put it in both. So in this case, you can kind of see it on the top, or the numerator, and so you can think of this as down 2, right 3. However, be aware that sometimes it's written like this, and I'm not changing the problem at all, I'm just changing how it's written. In a situation like that, you can choose where the negative goes. Again, you can put it in the numerator, or you could put it in the denominator, but you cannot put it in both. That would actually make it positive. So I'm going to go ahead and erase where it is outside, and I'm going to put it with the negative. You have the power to just choose the negative goes on the numerator or the denominator. So since the numerator here is negative, I'm going to go down 2, and since this is positive, I'm going to go right 3. So I have down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and graph that line. And if you don't trust me that you can put the negative anywhere, just go ahead and take that negative and let's put it in the denominator. And now this actually says up to left 3. Well, look at this. Up to left 3, that would bring us to the same exact position. So it doesn't matter where you put the negative as long as you don't put it in both the numerator and the denominator. Just put it in one. All right, that's pretty much it for now. I hope you have a great one, and don't forget to do your assignment associated with this. Good luck, everyone.